Now, I would like Mahendra to give an overview about the Nasscom Foundation and BigTech. Over to you, Mahendra.
Thank you, Aarti. Very good morning to everyone, and welcome to today's webinar session where you have been hearing a lot of AI and AI. So we thought it's good that we bring AI for the NGO, which is AI for social good. So that's the topic for today's webinar. And I'm happy to, have one of the person who is a speaker for this, and looking forward to having her inputs in terms of what AI is all about for social good. So yeah, to start off with, a little bit about the foundation, what we have been doing. So we have been about since 20 years, we have been, part of this, NASCOM Foundation group, and we have been looking at from a vision perspective to leverage technology and create an inclusive and progressive India. And primarily, we look at five key interventions when we look at running our programs at Foundation. One is the women entrepreneurship, digital literacy, skilling and employability, big tech. That's what we are, where we run a lot of NGO transformations and looking at tech capabilities for them, and the social innovation spaces. So these are the primary key five interventions where we work towards from a foundation perspective. Moving on. Yeah. So when we look at NGO empowerment, right? So what we look at NGO empowerment is, how do we look at enabling the NGOs community with the digital and tech capability programs, right? So we really look to having certain programs to run for the NGOs, and how do we look at, running these programs, right? So some of the things which we do is, we run certain programs which are tech-based solution programs. Some of them can be volunteering, and some of them which we do which are part of the software donations, right? And how do we do these kind of sessions is through webinars. We do some seminars, we do some workshops, some training sessions, and also some in-person events for the NGOs to empower them through the technology. So this is a quick kind of an overview of what we do under the NGO empowerment, right? So we also have been, trying to look at some of the challenges, because when we work with the NGOs, some of the key things which came out as a challenges from the NGOs are, they lack the capability to look at managing their donors and partners effectively, right? And some of them might not be able to, look at standardizing, having a standardized tools to monitor and measure what they are trying to do, right? And some probably might not be able to look at consolidating the data and the tools from perspective of having the data at one place, right? And probably some might lack the capacity to do the research capability, and some probably have reached a certain stage, but how do they scale from there? So they are certain, some technology related, integrations where some of the NGOs, while working with them, they might not be able to maximize the efficiency of them, where they lack the technology capabilities, right? So overall, we look at some of the NGOs. These are some of the primary challenges, or most of the time which we hear from the NGOs, which we come across, right? So we just wanted to highlight these challenges, and moving on to what is big tech, right? So what we do at NASCOM Foundation. So big tech is an initiative where we have partnered with TechSoup, and TechSoup is a non-profit capability building program organization where they have based in US, but they have implementation partners across the world. And for India, we are the implementation partner for them, right? So when we look at launching this program, we have launched this in 2007, and we are the only, online software donation program which is available in India, where the NGOs can get genuine softwares directly from the donors at an affordable price, which is a subsidized price, right? So that's what we do from a big tech program perspective. And just to walk you through what are the different programs which we run within big tech, one is a software donation where NGOs come, and whoever are the eligible NGOs, they can get access to the various products which are donated by the donors directly. And just to name a few, like, the Adobe or an AWS or a Microsoft, they come, they list the products on a website, and whoever are the eligible NGOs can go ahead and subscribe to these softwares at a subsidized cost, right? So they can leverage these softwares for their respective organizations, right? The second program which we run is the validation services. While these validation services is also looking at from perspective of fulfilling the licenses for the NGOs, but the difference is these validations have been managed and the fulfillments are managed directly from the donor from their own websites. Meaning, when we make an NGO eligible, they go ahead and get the licenses directly from the respective donor website where the fulfillment happens. So that's how in this program we do the validation part, but the fulfillment of the licenses is done by the donor directly through them, right? So that's a difference. So in the first program, we do the eligibility, we do the fulfillment, and the second program, we do the eligibility, the fulfillment will be done by the donor, right? The third program, what we do is the NGO source. NGO source is basically, it's a grant making process where we do equivalency determinations, which is called as EDs. So let's say if an NGO has to get some US, grants, how do they get these grants? So what we do is we make certain eligibility criteria fulfilled for the respective NGOs. And if we see that the eligibility criteria is met, we make that NGO an eligible NGO to get that US grant making. So that's how it works for the NGO source. So these are the three broad programs which we run in the under the BigTech program. Moving on. So what we offer as a solution for big tech, right? So I just touched on few things in the previous slide, but what are we trying to solve and what are we trying to address as a problem areas for the NGOs, right? So what we have understood is NGOs have certain financial limitations, right? May it be to invest in the IT infrastructure from a hardware or a software perspective, and probably some of the NGOs cannot afford to hire a professional who can deploy a latest technology for them, right? And some probably might lack the knowledge of what are the various technology and the softwares which are available in the market, which are recent and which can be helpful for the organizations, right? And some of them are, aware that there are a lot of pirated softwares which are very, unreliable, and they are not going to be, helpful for a long term because there's always a risk of those pirated softwares which can create a threat for the organizations, right? So that's some of the problem statements which we understand and what we do and what are the solutions we bring on the table for the NGOs, right? So one, we bring the latest technology at affordable price. Then we provide the access to the various donated products which are available on a big tech platform, right? And we also look at providing certain technology content on our website and access to the communities of the support, right? And how do the NGOs benefit out of that? Few of them are like, they can look at enhancing the reach to the beneficiaries and the sponsors because there are certain marketing tools and the softwares which are available where they can reach to more sponsors and beneficiaries, right? And some can also look at from perspective of improving the internal efficiencies, research usage, and also market and brand themselves. So just to name a few, these are some of the outcomes which the NGOs can get when we look at big tech program, right? Moving on, just to name a few donors, some of the top donors who are available on our platform, AWS, like I said, Microsoft, Zoom, so Adobe, these are very good softwares which are, good, and they can actually help a lot from the NGO's perspective to look at adopting these softwares and looking at the various technologies which are available to maximize the efficiency for the respective NGO organizations. Okay. And then talking about some of the impact numbers which we have done through our BigTech program, we have 1.6 billion worth of softwares which got donated through our BigTech program. And because the NGOs have come to our BigTech platform, they have saved almost 1.5 billion worth of money. Had it been they'd gone to a market price and they've gone purchased these softwares at a market price, which have been much, much higher price. But here, because they came to the big tech, they have saved 1.5 billion worth of money. right? And to look at some of the lives which we have impacted, it's 2.5 million lives which we have impacted across India. And we have 13,000 plus NGOs who are registered on a big tech platform. So that's a scale which we are working at from a big tech program perspective, right? And just to name a few verticals which we support, because what we understand from a big tech program is every NGO, may it be like a smaller grassroots level or a medium or a large NGO, there is a different set of requirements each and every NGO have, right? So we understand that every NGO have a certain requirement. So from an infrastructure perspective, we have AWS, we have Microsoft, we have Box and Dropbox, and we understand marketing communications is very important. So we have different softwares which are under marketing and communications. Donor management is very important. So that's something which we have certain softwares related to that. Security and backup, because everything is moving online, it's very important that you have a good, security and a backup, right? So we have certain softwares which are related to that. And operations is how do you run your organizations on a regular daily basis and maximize efficiency of that, right? So these are the different verticals, and we understand that every NGO has a need based on this journey which they are. So there are respective softwares which they can start to adopt based on the requirements, right? So that's a quick snapshot about the impact and what verticals we support, right? So further talking a little more about the impact, what we have done is we have done a couple of studies, and what we want to showcase here is two things, right? First, we have done one program which is called as NGO Capacity Building Survey, where we have conducted this survey along with Info Exchange, who has been a partner for this. And it's been a great participation where we had 478 NGOs who participated in this survey. And what came out of the results from those, survey is if you look at the top technology priorities, the three things which came out from the NGOs was they want to look at improving the digital capabilities of the staff and the volunteers, right? So that came out as the first priority from the NGOs. Second, they want to look at improving their website, because a lot of NGOs say that, we created a website, but how do we improve the website? How do we, get the website be, more, creative, or more where the information can be, there, and people who are visiting can get the required details, right? Third is making the better use of the social media and digital marketing. So these are the top technology priorities which came across from the survey. And to the right hand side, just to talk a little bit about the statistics, I'll not go into details of everything, but just to name a few, 86% of the organizations have at least the latest, website to market themselves, right? So basically, I think that's something which is a good thing. And the number one, way for them to communicate as a channel is WhatsApp, which means that there's a lot of scope for other things to come up, like the Microsoft and Google also, right? And 33% of the organizations use a crowdfunding and e-commerce as a thing from as facility for their website, right? So these are some of the numbers which came out. And the second survey, which I just want to talk about, is the survey which we have done with 60 NGOs. And this survey was actually an interview-based survey where we actually spoke to 60 of the NGO organizations, talking to them on one-to-one basis and collecting the data from them based on the questions which we had in terms of how big tech has played a role for the NGOs, right? So some of the numbers and some of the key highlights which we got from the survey is 97% of the NGOs reported decreased cost and expenses because they came to big tech, which means it's a very good promising number for us, which means that we are creating some impact for the NGOs, right? And 98% of the NGOs reported improved operations and management, which is something which is good. And in 83% of the NGOs actually witnessed an increase in the outreach also, right? And the right hand side, the table, which I mean, the chart shows a quick breakdown of how many NGOs out of that 60 have how many beneficiary reach. So 24 NGOs actually have almost 10,000 plus beneficiaries for the organizations, right? And then 16 have 1 lakh, and 12 have 10 to 15,000, 50,000. So that's a quick breakup of how the beneficiaries have been for the respective NGOs. So that's a quick snapshot about what we have been doing under BigTech program. So with that, I would like to welcome our speaker for today, Varsha Agarwal. I'm glad to have her, part of a webinar. And just to give a quick brief about Varsha, she has over 20 years of experience in IT sales, marketing, customer engagement domains, which is in DEI, CSR, pro bono, in various leadership roles. And she has been in the social sector for 12 plus years as an advisor, mentor, coach, and trainer. And I'm very happy that she's been part of a social sector for the last 12 years, and she has been doing great sessions, workshops, and give back sessions. So happy to introduce her, and welcome, Varsha. Over to you to take it forward from here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Mahendra. Great overview, and uh, and what an impact which Nasscom Foundation is making. It is overwhelming to see that almost 1.3 billion dollars which you have saved actually by providing the softwares either at a nominal price or for free completely, and there's a mapping which is available. There's so much more which is actually already happening at a very planned manner and at a very curated manner, and based on the research also which is being directly done by the Nasscom Foundation with the NGOs. So really great to see the impact which is already happening. Thank you so much for inviting me and giving me this opportunity. I'll share my screen, and why I love, I mean, working with NGOs, because what I primarily believe actually is that I hope everybody is able to see the screen.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Right. Yeah, so one of the things which I really admire for NGOs, with more than 3 lakh NGOs, I believe, which are there in India, and a lot of good, I mean, work which is happening. I personally believe that if NGOs are one of the most important lifeline, if not the only one, in order to make sure that everyone in this particular country leads a good life with great, I mean, respect, as well as the potential to become a good citizen, to not only help themselves, their family, but across. A huge role which is being played by the NGOs in this particular regard, definitely, for sure. We'll start by understanding some of the reality checks. And I think, Mahindra, you have already covered on certain categories of the challenges which are faced by the NGOs. And so we'll just do a quick deep dive onto that. Then we'll quickly understand what is AI. Along with, there's so much of technology which is already there. So we'll probably try and understand, okay, what's really is the AI. And then we will understand what is AI for operations, what is AI for marketing and outreach, for innovation, and then certain questions which we can take. Based on my discussions which has happened with multiple NGOs over the years, I have categorized most of the work which is done by NGOs in certain broader categories. I'm sure there is a lot more to it, but just a few certain broader categories. Okay, one is operations, then the social media management, fundraising, and then we have innovations. All right. Just one quick question, and you can put your responses on chat. How many of you are already using any tool apart from MS Office to manage the day-to-day operations? And when I say day-to-day operations, you can actually understand is staff management, your volunteer management, donor management, your programs and project management, task management, funds, and impact assessment. Anyone is using any specific tool apart from MS Office? I don't think I can see the chat in the setting. Actually, this is.
It is. They are saying Google Workspace, HRMS, Teams, and CRM for project. I'm just reading from a chat. Google Drive, chatbots, manpower management tool, donor management, Zoho,
Okay,
Power
that's good.
BI. Yeah.
Somebody is using Zoho. That's really great. I don't think there is a way for me to see the chat.
I'm
Awesome.
on.
And I can't see myself as well. It's okay. Yeah, if I see this screen, then I can't see the presentation. But I hope all of you are able to see the presentation, right?
Yes.
Are you
Yes.
able to see the presentation? Sure. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably
So,
Aarti can help you with the chat messages, Varsha, and you can continue with the presentation because everybody is able to view the presentation of yours.
sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So I think
thanks.
people are okay. Prerna is using ClickUp. That's great. Because I'm gonna talk about ClickUp, and some people are using Canva, which is really good. Tally, medical mobile app, okay, Google Workspace, Google Spreadsheet, HRMS somebody is using, but that's great. Google Suite, Asana somebody is using, great. So I think some of the great tool which a few NGOs are already using. Let's see quickly on that if any one of you are using any social media management tool. Any social media management tool. I think Rahul Chaudhary is saying he's using Canva. For sure, I'm definitely sure that you are using Canva to create. Okay, Zoho Social somebody is using. That's great. Meta, that's good. Canva, Popular, Meta, Canva. Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of people are using Canva. Yeah, which is good. I myself use Canva. In fact, the presentation which I have created is using Canva only. It's a great tool actually. Yeah. Okay. So from artificial intelligence perspective, mm, see there are a lot of technologies which are already there in the system which we have, which we know. There is over the years since the computers are introduced, and even before that also technology was existing, and even now, and it is evolving on a day-to-day basis. Every day we see some or the other new technology which is coming. So what is this AI which is doing differently? Anyone has any idea what is AI doing differently, which probably was not happening earlier? Okay, no problem. So say initially when the computers were introduced, we were providing a command and it was able to do. So say for example, the smaller or the very initial thing of that is the calculator. We say 2 plus 3, it used to give us, I mean 5. So it's a very command based thing. And right now also, if we remove AI and if we just talk about the computers and other technology, if we say that, hey, if we are feeding into a computer, what is the weather? And if the weather forecast is it is going to rain tomorrow. If we ask, hey, what is the weather? It will tell us it is going to rain tomorrow. Now, what is the difference which AI is bringing in here? Yeah, if I ask, hey, what is the weather tomorrow? Is it going to rain tomorrow? Will it be cloudy tomorrow? Will it be sunny tomorrow? Anything and everything. It will be able to understand and respond to us in the same manner that, hey, it is not going to rain tomorrow, it will be cloudy. You better be careful with a umbrella or something. So it's going to add its intelligence. So there are two differences which you are seeing over here, right? First of all, it's able to understand what you're saying. So it's conversational. It's not a command and an answer. Plus, it is able to provide its recommendations as well, which were earlier only possible for human beings. Because as human beings, we are able to have a conversation, we are able to understand each other, we are able to provide the recommendation. For example, I'm sure you are providing certain recommendations to your children based on their interest, or your parents must be providing you interests. Now I'll say, hey, my child like this kind of toy because based on what I have seen. Similarly, but that thing is being done by AI also now. I'm sure some of you must have seen Amazon Prime, Netflix, ZTV, Sony, and all these things, right? Based on what you see and what is your interest, it keeps on providing you the recommendation. Similarly, Amazon Alexa or your Siri or your Google chat and all of this is able to understand what you are saying. It's able to answer your question even if it is not feeding into that, because it has lot of data which it has processed. So it can have a conversation with you. That's a difference on a very broad sense. And that's why we have AI as the buzzword, which is actually happening quite a lot. Apart from that, there are a lot of other things which it can do. For example, as humans, we can learn from our experiences. Similarly, AI can learn based on the data which is fed into that. Self-learn. For example, I am sure most of you might be using ChatGPT in some or the other form, or must be knowing the ChatGPT, right? So when I am asking a question to it, it is providing me an answer. You must have noticed it also asks you, is it helpful or is it not? Based on the feedback which we are providing to it, no, it's not helpful. It is feeding that no, this answer was not helpful, and it is learning from it in order to improvise the response for the next time. So that's the difference. Now let's come to, because I know we have limited time, let me know if you think I am rushing. But yeah, because we want to do certain demos and cover certain things, so I'll be going a little fast. But yeah, please stop, and then yeah, let me know to slow down, or if you have any questions, you can ask. Now coming to operations in this, but in AI view, as I mentioned that in a broader category, I put in NGO operations as all of these things. I'm sure there is a lot more to it. And based on my discussions, and I have seen when Mahinder was trying to provide certain that what are the challenges which are faced by most of the NGOs. So one of that is definitely operations. Certain NGOs have only a few people as the full-time staff, and then they have more volunteers. Then certain actually NGOs have lot of staff as well. So how do we manage? What's the better way to manage? Is it can I do I mean using Excel? Yes, we can do very well. I mean using Excel. In fact, most of the NGOs what I've spoken about, they are mostly using MS Excel to manage their day-to-day operations. Who is working on what I mean particular project, the task, and this and that and all. But let's see one quick tool, which is ClickUp. I know somebody is already using that. There are other tools also. Asana is also there, and I saw Mahinder, I believe Asana is already listed in the tool which people can use. It's quite, I mean, similar to that. So if you think that it is required and you want to better manage certain operations, you can also go ahead and use Asana tool or ClickUp, or there are other tools also available. We will not be able to do a demo of all the tools, but let's see if we can do for at least one tool. Let me know if you can see my browser.
No. Yes.
No. Oh, so sorry. Let me share again, and please let me know if you can see my browser. You can see my browser now?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Okay. So this is a ClickUp tool. In the interest of time, I will not do the sign in and everything. You go ahead and use. And by the way, whatever tools I'm sharing, I mean today, these are mostly free. At least they have a free version, which is useful. It's not free just for the sake of being free. These are freemium tool, means to a extent these are free, and for an NGO which is actually having certain number of people, the free version of this particular tool will work really well. What the one which I am using is also free version itself. Okay. Here you can manage actually all your projects. you can add the people, you can invite the people, you can create the task, you can assign the task, you can put the dashboards, which actually can give you an example of what is the project which is in use, how many people are working on it, what the task is ahead, behind, what is not working well, everything can be managed here. So the thing which we need to start off with is the team space. If we start off by team space here, then we can create a project. Say for example, I have created a project called TWC Neve already here. So I'll just carry on with that. You can click on plus and you can create a new project. You just have to provide the name of the project. Now I have certain task which is already in progress. I want to, or if you are doing it for the first time, you can create a new task here. Okay. Just have to type the name. Say for example, if I see demo task, right? And then I have added, one of my team member already. I can assign the task to her. I can also provide the due date here. For example, 11th of May is what the due date which I would like to provide. So I can just provide the due date. I can just provide the due date here. I can set the priority. I can set the tagging. I won't go into deep dive into tagging, but how tagging helps is that when you are doing a search for a particular task, say for example, you have 15 projects, right? And you want to search on the tasks which are on fundraising or which are for creating campaigns. So if you are tagging your task accordingly, then you can just do a search and it will show you all the tasks which are related to campaign creation or which are related to the fundraising. Then just go ahead and create the task over here. It will already be assigned to the person, and the person will actually, he would have already got the email. Okay, that there is a task which is created for you. It's of high priority. This is the due date, and the person can start working on it. So now I have logged in. What can happen here when you are inviting all your team members? They will also have access. They can log in. They can work here and say, if I have completed this particular task, I can go ahead and make and say that it is in progress. It will move to in progress. When I have completed this particular task, I can say that it is complete. The bottom line is, and there are a lot of features which it provides from creating the project to view all projects to actually see that what is ahead, what is behind, what is lagging. Your people can also comment if they are looking for any help. You can create the Kanban board from here. Kanban board is the one which actually provides you a high level view of all the tasks, for example, which are due today. Like the way in our organization, right? We run scrum meetings. So every day we have scrum meetings where everybody gets together and then we see that, okay, these are all the things which had to be done by yesterday. Is it done or not? Anybody requires help? These are all the things which needs to be done by today. Is it on track or not? These are all the things which are required for tomorrow and so on. All these things can be done here. You can also provide graph and charts, which we can do. You can also look at the dashboards. Any number of dashboards can be created. Say for example, this is one very simple dashboard which actually say that, okay, for this particular project, you have one unassigned task, you have two in progress, nothing is completed as of now. It will also show that, okay, these are the open tasks which are by assignee. You can click on that. It will show you, okay, these are the 3 tasks which are assigned to Varsha. Okay, and similarly for other folks. Any questions before I move on? I know I am rushing a bit, but yeah, because we have few things to cover. Because you can go ahead, explore offline, and then if there are any questions, you can ask instead of me deep diving into one particular tool only. But any questions before we move on quickly?
Varsha, we can take the questions maybe after the slides. There will be a session. There will be time, so we can take over like a few questions from
Sure.
the NGOs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So moving on, the other challenge which I have seen or which I have heard from most of the NGOs which I'm working with is from the talent assessment perspective. The thing is that how do I find the right talent, which, and the people who are really interested, the people who are really passionate about it, and the people who stick around. Because we are spending our time, energy in order to first hire, then train, and then after that, as soon as they find something, they leave. And this is something which I've consistently hear from most of the NGOs. So what we can do? Obviously, there are certain tools which can help. In the interest of time, again, we will not be able to give a demo, but you have the name, you can go ahead explore, and if there are any questions, it can be answered even later on as well. Now, so certain tools actually help in screening the resume, okay, which is who is the right person, and these are mostly called ATS tools, which most of the HR and talent partners use. But the other key thing is the behavioral assessment. Okay, this will really help in order to find out, and these are AI driven behavior assessment, which actually based on the certain answers of an assessment, it will provide you, hey, is the candidate really interested in the NGO, in the cause, in making a difference in the social space, is fit for the NGO mission, vision, whatever I have, and is the candidate really passionate? Because then they will definitely stick, and the effort which you have put in all across in order to hire, in order to retain, in order to train, is going to serve more purpose. Because if every 6 months, if we're going to keep hiring and the person will keep on leaving, it makes a huge burden actually, and huge operations cost also. Okay, in order to hire a person, we almost spend 3 times of the cost compared to the salary which we pay to the person. So I highly encourage to explore some of these tools and see that going forward, how can we use some of the behavioral assessment tool at least for all. And it's not that we have to sit through it. We have to send these assessments to the candidates. They need to fill it. AI will provide the assessment that, oh, okay, this is something which I feel, and then you can shortlist, and then you can have a open conversation with the candidates on, hey, this is the assessment which I found. Let's understand, okay, why you are passionate about the cause. So these are really important, and not just assessing the hard skills, right? Okay. And there are some other tools also which actually can help in, say for example, you if you are giving candidates some test, that okay, if an NGO is there in the pet space or in the animal rehabilitation space and all, you can ask them to write certain paragraphs actually on that. Then AI can analyze based on what they have written. Are they really passionate about this particular cause? And again, are they going to stick around? Right? Than just finding a job. That okay, for now I am not getting anything, so I have to do some job, so let me do this one only. So those are the tools also which are there, which can help. Okay. Moving on from operations to marketing and outreach, the other thing which I have heard from most of the NGO is, and I think Mahinder also have highlighted, is how do I manage my social media better? Okay, because believe that's which is most important in today's world, to reach out to the broader mass in order to tell them what we are working on, what we are passionate about, why should they help us, how should they help us, and so on and so forth. So marketing and outreach, what all it contains. Obviously, the regular content creation, we need to schedule and publish on the social media. There are ads and campaigns which we have to run. Personalization is very, very important. Actually, we'll quickly see an example of that. Then, apart from all that, so I have run my ads. I am on 6 or 7 social media channels. How do I know how I am doing? Right? Whatever campaigns which I am creating, is it really impactful? So the real-time data and analytics and the AI-driven insights are also very important. Then also that what is my return on investment? For example, if I am putting 1,000 rupees on running certain campaigns, am I getting at least 5,000 rupees as funds or not? If I am running a campaign and I'm spending 1,000 rupees onto that, am I getting at least 50 volunteers to help me with the cause or not? So these are the things which is on return on investment and value proposition. What is my value proposition? If I have got certain funds, for example, somebody has donated 1 lakh of rupees, right? Then we need to go to the donor and then say that with your this 1 lakh rupees, here is your return on investment. That's the impact which I have created. How all this will happen? Right? So this is also on the return on investment, and then obviously emailers, newsletters, impact reports, which we have to send to our stakeholders, which we have to send to our donors, which we have sent to the board of directors, and so much. We'll quickly see a demo of Fleeky.ai. Anybody is already using Fleeky? Is anyone already using Fleeky? Okay, so there are multiple tools which are available. Fleeky is not the only one, but again, as per my assessment, this is one of the tool which is again freemium tool. It does allow you to create certain number of videos with certain minutes for free, which is good enough for a size, for a small to medium size of the NGO, which actually do, for example, which actually do the ads or post the videos once in a week. Okay. How we can create it is, and obviously not everybody is an expert of creating the videos or video editing and everything, and we probably might not have dedicated resources also which are available, which can help us create the videos on a day-to-day basis. So what we can do, we can use certain AI driven tools. Let's see one example. So here, if I do a new file and I just give it a name as demo, you can choose what language it has to be in. You can choose what dialect. So we are in India, so we are gonna use the dialect. You can choose the aspect ratio if you are creating, for example, Insta Reel. If you are creating for Facebook, I think it should be 1:1. If you are creating for YouTube, it should be 16:9. If you are mainly creating for short thing videos, which mostly people view on the phone, it should be 9:16 and so on. But you can select. Now, if I submit, it will show me certain options on how I want to create my video. In the interest of time, I am not going to create a full-fledged video from the beginning, but I will show you the ones which I have already created for this particular purpose. So you can actually create the video just from an idea. For example, if I just say AI for social impact, this is the only thing which I will say, and it's gonna create a 1-minute video for me with all the media, with all the scripting, and with everything. The other thing which I can do is I can provide it my script also. Okay, for example, I want the way I am covering. For example, if I want to create a video for AI for social impact, I want to cover certain things on what is AI. So I'll say, okay, what is AI? Then I'll say AI for NGO operations. Okay, and I can add certain more content to it. So these will become my scenes. And then what it will do is it will attach the right media and everything to it, and it will create the 1-minute video. I can also create from blog, I can also create from PPT, I can also create from tweets also in certain products as well. You can explore in your leisure time. Let's quickly see what is the kind of the video which it has created. So for example, let's see this, which I have created for personalized communication. So what I have given it to was only the idea that personalized communication. It has created scenes for me. It has also put in the content here. it has also put in the media here, and the complete video is ready. Now, for example, I don't like this particular media or this particular scene, what it has created, or the content of this, I can change it. Okay. Or I can change the voiceover. For example, currently it has provided me somebody called Neerja's voice. I probably that, okay, it's not suitable. I want to choose somebody else's. I can choose that. I can update the content. I can update the script. I can choose a different media. Either it is auto pick, or I can upload my own media also, and so on. Or I can even I can add my own content also. So for example, I want to add certain additional scenes as well. So I can do that as well, and then it will either pick a media or you can upload the media as well. Okay, if you want to create from scratch, you can do from scratch as well. For example, if you want to create a video for your impact, you can go ahead and do it. You provide your script, you provide your videos, you provide your images, it will create the video for you, and you can go ahead and publish it. I know we are already at 12:15, so I'll move to the next one. The other one is actually on your dashboards specifically, and how can you publish from a single dashboard. That tool is called Metricool. Again, there is a freemium version. In the interest of time, I am not going to show all the possibilities of this particular tool, but very quickly, a couple of things which you can do very well is you can create the content, or you can actually upload the video what we have created using Flick AI, or you can create everything here for multiple social channels. For Facebook also I can create from here, for YouTube, and for other channels, up to 5 channels you can use here, or you can tie here for free. For example, your Facebook, your YouTube, your Twitter, your Instagram, all of that you can add here, and everything you will be able to manage from here itself. Create the content here, upload your media or pick a media, and just follow the instruction what are mandatory. For example, for Facebook, title is mandatory. I would definitely have to do the title. For YouTube, certain things have to be provided. For example, I need to definitely choose the audience, that it's not made for kids, and so on. Then you can schedule that, hey, I want my content to go to Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and Twitter, blah blah, on 3rd of May. 3rd of May at this particular point of time. Okay, and it will show up in your calendar. It will also show the calendar to you that, okay, now this is going on 29, this is going on 30th, this is going on 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and so on. Everything can be managed from here, can be created from here, and can be published from here directly, and you don't have to sit. For example, you must be knowing that there are certain time when the audience is actually available more. They always say that on Facebook you should be, publishing at this particular point of time, for Instagram at this particular point of time. So you don't have to be awake at that time always, or available. You can schedule. The other quick thing which is very useful actually is the dashboard. So very quickly, for example, I have connected my Facebook and my YouTube, and it is just showing me in one single place. It just shows the entire dashboard to me. How many likes I have, how many followers I have, how many impressions. So you can actually track how your social channels are doing from one single place. Okay. Let's move on. Facebook ads, I believe people are already using Facebook ads, so we can skip that. But the one of the thing which I will mention, we might not see the entire demo here. If you are running an ad, please make it personalized. How we can do that is, if, so for example, we are in animal rehabilitation place, and if we are running an ad, right? There is no point in running the ad for the entire audience, because it is not going to give us the ROI. What we can do is, this is the ad creation screen. We can browse from here and then say that what is the interest of this audience to which I want to run the ad, right? And we can choose here hobby activities, say pet animals, birds, cat, dogs. Say for example, if you're working on dogs, then we can choose. So now what this personalized ad will do is that it will run it only for say 18 to 45 years of the age people. For all, language might not matter here, but the people who are interested and like dogs, they are more likely to respond to your ad, to donate or to volunteer compared to anybody else. So this is what I meant when I talk about the personalization. There are many other options which are also available. I can narrow down my audience. So for example, if some NGO is there only in Karnataka or only in Bangalore or only in Delhi, and then you want and you are running a campaign for volunteers, you can choose what's my demographic. I want to run it actually only for uh, only for the people who are in Delhi. Or you can also choose the radius. For example, if you are an NGO located in Connaught Place or somewhere else, you know that the volunteers might not come from 100 kilometers. So you can run the ad only, say for example, up to 10 kilometers of where you are, if you need the volunteers in your NGO location. Similarly, a bunch of other things you are actually seeing behavior. Say for example, if your NGO work towards the children, you might want to choose certain things for parents or for children. Or if you are doing certain activity for children, you can choose their interest. The bottom line is make it personalized and make it persona based. Okay. Quickly moving on, MailChimp, we probably will not go into here, and I'll just provide the what it does. MailChimp is actually, for example, we are sending newsletters, we are sending updates, we are sending ad requests, and we are sending a bunch of emails to our donors, to our stakeholders, to our board of directors, or we just want to acknowledge and say and send a thank you email to our donors. MailChimp can help us do that. It will automate the entire emails campaigns actually for you. Again, it's a freemium tool. You can use it for up to a certain audience and up to a certain number of emails for free. But after that also, it's not too expensive if you are really sending a lot of emails and you're spending a lot of manual hours in order to achieve the same. Again, everything depends on ROI. If say I am paying 770 rupees in a month, what is the ROI which it is giving to me? Am I able to free up the 1 month cost for my one resource? Then it is really very, very useful and it's a good ROI. And that should be calculated before we decide that, yeah, I want to go ahead and buy this particular tool or want to pay. Now, what it can do is that you can provide the names while it's opening. I'll quickly brief. My login is expired, it seems. You can import your audience. For example, you must be having a list of your donors. You must be having a list of your board of directors. Upload the list here. Upload their email IDs here. Choose a email and then say that, okay, thank you for donating this much of amount. So it can also, you can put the variables here, means the template will be having certain specific standard the text or the statements. Then whatever name you have provided and whatever say amount which you have provided, it will replace the text with that particular thing. Let's see one example. Say let's see this example. Let's see this example. Okay, your template actually will be thank you for making a donation of an hour. Very basic, right? This is a template, right? And you will might be having two here to email ID. So The data which you are uploading to it, it will replace the email ID what you have uploaded. It will replace the name with the name which you have uploaded, and it will replace the INR with the amount of fund which somebody has provided, which makes it really personalized than you sending a mass email to somebody, thank you for your donation. And all that can be done with the MailChimp. This is one of the very basic example, but it can do a lot more things, and it can run your multiple other email campaigns and bunch of other things. For the interest of time, this is the very bare minimum basic thing which it can do. Now, from innovation perspective, obviously there is, I'm sure there are a bunch of other categories in which NGOs are operating. Healthcare, education, public safety, accessibility is not the only thing, but AI is actually playing a huge role in innovation spectrum as well. There are a couple of success stories. I won't go into all the details, but I'm sure everybody knows Akshay Patra. They have reached from 2000 to 2 million meal per day. How? With the use of AI only. How have they reduced the food wastage? Much because they have used AI to actually see how many students or how many children might attend a school on a particular day. Based on all the data which they have analyzed, and then insights are provided. Based on that, they plan this much kgs of food, these many vessels need to be sent to this particular school, to this particular location, and so on. And a lot of other planning which has gone into. The bottom line is data is the king, and on top of it, insights is another one, which is, I mean, which is really important. Somebody might have heard about Bal Sakhi as well. Again, Bal Sakhi is by Pratham, which is providing personalized and on-demand support for the child care. So much more.
Yeah, I think Varsha, we can use have some questions here. So maybe you would like to answer some.
Yeah.
Is it all right now? So there is one question. Someone is asking that which AI is better for non-profit organization?
There is not one single AI is what we have seen, and not AI per se, but it's these are the tools which are AI driven, and that is something which should be used uh, for the for the purpose of the NGO. AI itself is not a tool. These are AI driven tools. For example, if you are struggling for creating the videos, okay, which we have seen, or if you are struggling in order to create a content, then you can use Fleek AI, or you can actually use something, or you can use, there are bunch of other tools. Say, for example, Produce.ai is there. There is InVideo is there. Bunch of other tools which are also there which we can use. If you are facing challenges in order to do social media campaigns, you can use other tools. If you are facing challenges in order to do publishing, if you are facing challenges in order to do fundraising, so different tools are there for different kind of operations which you want to do.
I think to further refine the question, Varsha, what I've understood from the chat box, what NGOs is asking for is like, what are the various tools which are available, which are AI related? First, and second is, you mentioned about operations, you mentioned about social media, right? So there are certain AI tools which are available. Out of that, which of them are free versions, and which of them can get a subsidized price for NGOs? If there is a list of something, probably not exactly now, but if you can share with us, then we can share further with the NGO, so they can have these list of AI tools and they can pick and choose based on what the requirement is, because I think that can be a good way forward for the NGOs to utilize that. Yeah.
Yeah, I can share that. So based on, so what I spoke about is for operation management. Say, for example, we have selected ClickUp, but there are other tools. Even Zoho Social is also a freemium. There are other tools also which are freemium, which you can I mean use. For social media management, all the tools whatever I have mentioned, these are again freemium version. Okay.
Okay,
But
there's one more question.
I can do that. There are a bunch of
Um,
things you can pick it up and
yes,
see which one.
just add. Um, can we add the budget line against the project? I mean, maybe which you have, shown as a demo. Uh, so
Yes, we can definitely add the budget to your project. Say, for example, in ClickUp, add a field in there and then add that this is what is my budget for this particular project. But again, you would require the budget, I mean, distribution, which you can also add. For example, if your overall budget for running a campaign, this is mostly useful in order to run a campaign. So, I mean, sometimes we see that I have only 1,000 rupees in order to complete a campaign. Okay, for that you can say, okay, I need to run the campaign for 5 days. My first day budget, this is the task for my first day, right? The day one campaign. The day one campaign, I will spend only 100 rupees. You can add it there. Day two campaign, I will spend 300 rupees. You can add it there. And then that's how you can manage your budget in that. But there are other tools also which are good from the budget management for the budget perspective, which can actually help you track down the entire your forecasting to spend to planning. ClickUp might not be the best tool to do the budget management, but it can be done.
all right, we'll take another one and we can move on to the live question. There is one. How could we merge the multiple AI for a single platform where we can manage the finance, operation, and technology in one place? Is there any tool used for legal services?
See, there is a lot of things are evolving, but there is one tool by Salesforce, which is Salesforce for NGOs, that actually provides you to manage a lot of these things in one single place. Again, it might not be the best tool for content creation. You can do the content creation in a different tool, but from finances to impact assessment to the budget to how your resources are doing, all that can be managed in that particular Salesforce for NGO. But it's a little complicated tool. It requires learning. It might require a dedicated person to be there. So the recommendation for these kind of tools is to be used only for the NGOs which definitely needs it. And again, ROI assessment should be done, but I'm sure it should be available at the even if it is available at the subsidized price. But we also have to see that it should not that okay, the tool is ruling me uh, because it's so complicated. But yeah, there is a tool which is available.
Sure. We can take the live questions now. If anyone want to ask, please uh, just Rahul. I have unmuted you, Rahul. Please ask your question.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Varsha, for this wonderful presentation. I'm working on AI tools in Ajivika Bureau. I'm using ChatGPT. That there is a sort of image creation AI tools also. We are working on legal services. So my question is related to only on legal services. Is there any tool or AI built for a legal consultancies, legal service related? Providing a solution. So we have a call center, so we can merge with that call center to provide a support to laborers and migrants for this.
See, there is advocate ADVOC AI tool which is there. There is another brief point which is also there. But we also have to keep in mind is that see, legal is a very crucial thing. If you are using if you want to use the particular tool just for providing information to the people who come to your, yes, you can use it, but with a disclaimer that the information is provided by a chatbot and it might not be 100% accurate. It's up to the user discretion, and they should definitely consult, right, you. If you are providing the legal, so for example, I was working with somebody called Mr. Girish. He also run a trust and he provides the legal services. they also use certain things in order to provide, but they always say that once you have the basic idea, you please talk to a legal advisor in order to make sure that everything what you got the information is accurate and the in the direction what you're proceeding is correct. Some people are also using example that from the chat gpt by buying a licensed version, some people have created hr gpt in which they have feeding in their own data, so that and then they have made it a chatbot. So that ensures that it's not the entire universe data with which the AI is answering the question, but it's only what you are feeding it. So then you know that whatever information um, the chatbot is answering is 100% accurate because you only have fed the information to it.
All right. We'll take another one. Devjit Gupta. Can you please unmute Devjit?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. So, Barsha, you talked about fundraising. So, is there any tool which you specifically use for fundraising for the NGOs? AI-based tool. I mean, which can tell me, okay, this person is most likely to give us some funding as per the requirement.
Yeah, see, there is no tool which can do fundraising uh, for uh, for us. But the thing is how we can use AI to reach to the right people. One of the example, even though there are multiple other examples and there are multiple other tools which are also available, but and I can provide some names, but the bottom line is to reach to the right people. Example, if you are running a campaign for fundraising, and are you reaching out to the right people? If I am working as an NGO, if I am working in people with disability sector, I need to find out that I need to reach out only to those people who are interested to help people with disability. How can I do that? By personalizing my ads or by personalizing my campaigns. One of the very small example I showed on Facebook, that
Correct.
instead of just running an ad which is a very open ended, that it should go to just anybody. Choose your audience, and that's where AI will help.
Okay.
So, in the interest of time, Varsha, I think we have to stop here. And yeah, it's a very good session. Mahendra, can you
Yeah, I think thanks, Aarti said, thanks for having, us in terms of, having this session done for us, Varsha, because we know AI is playing an important role in, today's, in terms of how AI will play an important role for social sector. So we thought this will be a very good topic for the NGO. So I'm very happy that you've provided a lot of inputs in terms of what are the different tools which are available under AI and the different verticals which you have covered. So I'm hoping that the NGOs got a lot of good insights based on what you have presented. So in the interest of time, we couldn't take all of the questions, but I would request all of the NGOs to ask any questions if they have as a follow-up and send us an email. Aarti will send an email ID and we can actually address the questions if you have anything as a follow-up questions. And whatever Varsha has spoke about, we'll circle back with you in terms of the different tools which are available for AI and we'll share with you so that you have them handy and you can start to utilize those for your respective organizations. With that, thanks a lot, Varsha. And it was a great presentation and I'm definitely hoping this will be very helpful for the NGOs. And thank you, Aarti and Nitin, for having this presentation and webinar. Thank you.